I already spoke about cordae and almightyjay. Let's go ahead and talk about Jay, and as to why he's in the position that he's in now. Ironically, when it comes to the position of IBN, I think Jay's is the most interesting. But unlike almightyjay, who does everything wrong, and cordae, who just doesn't really live up to expectations, but I feel like Jay was honestly the most self-aware. Unlike almightyjay and cordae, Jay quickly realized that maybe rap is not going to be my career. Sure, he did have a few good records, but that didn't really translate into anything. And with that, when we look at 2018 and 2019, Jay just sits there and he just realizes, I probably have to do something else. And he starts looking at his strengths and his weaknesses. And a massive strength that Jay had was his personality. For how much shit Jay gets for being a shitty rapper, there is no way that you cannot give him credit for being years ahead of the entire rap game. We're talking about 2017, 2018, 2019. Jay quickly realized that rap isn't where the money's at. It's not where the viewer's at. It's streaming. And he starts doing vlogs, which was like the trend on YouTube just years beforehand in an effort to build an audience. He surrounds himself with streamers. He starts streaming, but it doesn't work out. And there's a couple reasons as to why I think that. The first is his relationship with China. I think that this was the biggest mistake in hindsight that he and his team did. We have to remember during this time in Jay's career, a lot of people that are listening to his music are young adolescent boys, those of which who grew up on the internet, and they're very much aware of who China is and her reputation. And you can hate me if you want, but the reality is she has a shit reputation. If you're a 13 to 15-year-old boy and you idolize someone like almightyjay, someone who plays video games and he raps and he does a lot of things that you like to do, someone who you can relate to. But a lot of boys at that age were disappointed when they saw him with her. She was not the boost that he and his team thought she was going to be, and in general just felt creepy. To give context, in an interview with Vlad, when Vlad asks almightyjay about his relationship with China, Jay says that YBN is getting traction with the kids, but then he starts dating China and the adults began paying attention. My point is the fact that he had to subconsciously differentiate these two different audiences by their ages is my point. There was also the situation where he got his chain snatched. And if I can remember correctly, like a couple times, like one in New York and one in LA, if I remember correctly. A cardinal sin of being a rapper is getting your chain snatched. That's just never a good look. And he just tried to play it off, but it just didn't work out because he tried to play as a tough guy, but he's really just a kid. And he runs into actual goons, and goons do what they do best. And it got so bad that Jay Prince had to step in on his behalf. Imagine being a rapper indebted to Jay Prince. How fucked is that? When it comes to the streaming and the vlogs, the reason why I never really popped off in my opinion is because Jay just lost respect. His audience didn't respect the woman that he was dating. His fans did not like the fact that his chain was getting snatched every other weekend. And as anything with Jay Prince, you know you're going to be in the thick of it. In short, he was a self-aware kid who just got way in over his head.